What's going on, everybody? My name is Jonathan. I want to welcome you guys to the Don't Let Pornography Stop You from Purpose channel, where you find freedom from porn and sex addiction. I'm excited to start this series, man. This is going to be the first part of this series called The Addicted Brain, where we're going to get into porn and sex addiction's effect on your brain and mental health, what makes you become addicted to it, and what makes it so challenging to get out of it. Also, different scenarios that's going to really leave you susceptible mentally, that really begins to weaken your mental state and leaves you vulnerable to a lot of warfare and to a heightened level of temptation sexually in the mind, and how to rewire your mind to be able to undo the damaging effects that porn and sex addiction has caused. And in this first video, we're going to really just get into some of the neuroscience and what happens when we indulge and watch porn at a chemical level in the brain. Walking you guys through this is going to give you guys a really good understanding of what happens to your brain, what causes you to get addicted to it in the first place, and why it may seem like whatever you've done and tried, nothing has seemed to really help you walk out of it and really get free from it. And we'll first start out with just really what parts of the brain does porn and sex addiction really affect the most. And there's two parts of the brain that it really affects. The first is the prefrontal cortex, and the second is the limbic system. And the prefrontal cortex is really the part of your brain that's really responsible for a lot of executive functions, like just logical thinking, motivation, keeps you in line with your morals and things that you believe. The prefrontal cortex is what activates when you know you're indulging in porn or sex that you know you shouldn't be doing and that you're trying to break away from. It's like the conviction system is another good way to put it. It's that part of your brain that begins to feed to you and let you know that this is something that really doesn't align with what you're trying to do and what your beliefs are. All of that logical reasoning and thinking happens in the prefrontal cortex. And the other part of the brain that it really affects is the limbic system. And the limbic system, this is a network of nerves that's in the center of your brain. And the limbic system is really big for your pleasure system. This is when if you're going out and you're doing activities with people and you get like, just whatever gives you that enjoyable or that pleasurable or that feel good feeling, that is what the limbic system is activating and what is causing your body to get that feel good feeling from whatever activity that you were getting it from. This part of the brain is also called the survival brain. It's the part of the brain that really acts on instinct. So this is going to be the part of the brain where, say, if somebody were to jump out and start attacking you, you're not going to really be thinking about, oh, I see this person trying to come and attack me. You're just going to see them and just run away, right, on instinct, right? You're going to act, you're not going to think about it. You see somebody coming that you know is trying to do harm to you, and you're just getting up and going. That is the limbic system activating. It is the brain that acts on instinct to really help you survive and get you out of stressful situations. Porn and sex really affects the limbic system especially. Porn and sex use really enhances your limbic system because porn and sex activates such a pleasurable feeling inside you that as you begin to use it repeatedly over and over and over again, your body learns to get that pleasurable or that feel-good feeling through the use of porn and sex, especially when you're starting to get in distressful situations and other things like that. That is where porn use really begins to take over. And as your brain and body begins to learn how to get this pleasurable feel-good feeling through the habitual porn and sex use, this is what really kicks your survival brain in, because your survival brain is going to always overpower your prefrontal cortex because it is the one that's going to act on instinct. It's not going to really sit down and think about if or how you should do it. And the more that you begin to feed your limbic system how to get that pleasurable feeling through porn and sex use, you will naturally begin to, on instinct, like you're on autopilot, going to keep yourself moving towards different things and situations that will lead you into unwanted sexual behavior because it is a survival instinct. Your body learns that I want to get this feel-good feeling. I know exactly how to get it, and that's through porn and sex that we've habitually used time and time again. So that is why when you've been in places where you may feel like, you can't understand why exactly it is, no matter how hard you try, you just keep feeling like you're weak or like your body has no fight to the temptations and urges that you get through porn, that is why, because it hasn't just become a thing that you do. You've now trained yourself to treat it as a survival instinct that you just act on. You don't think about it too much, even when you're trying to. That limbic system is kicking so hard, it's gonna push you into it every time. And that's really the reason what makes you become so addicted to it. And this happens because of the heavy release of dopamine that porn releases when we indulge in it. Dopamine is the chemical that's released in the limbic system that gives us that pleasurable feel-good feeling. But it's not really just because porn releases dopamine that really makes it so strong and makes the addiction so hard. It's because that it releases it at higher levels than some of the strongest drugs and things out there. It's like unparalleled in the amount of dopamine that's released when you indulge in porn and sex. It's why porn and sex gives you such a feeling that you can't really find and that you can't really get from any other thing out there. And it's one of the things that makes it one of the more challenging addictions to really break out of, and why it becomes such a struggle mentally when we're trying to, create new habits and create new pathways in our brain to create a new lifestyle out of it, especially as we've used it so much and time and over again. This is essentially really what porn and sex does to the brain, what happens at a chemical level through the release of dopamine, how it begins to enhance your survival brain and weaken your prefrontal cortex, that really makes you so addicted, and what makes you act on instinct on your sex urges, that really keeps you bound and stuck in your addiction, and why it's so challenging to break out of it because of how it rewires your mind in that way. I hope this video really helped you really better understand why your addiction is the way it is, and why you've had so much trouble in trying to really break out of the habits and things of a habitual porn and sex use. If you guys enjoyed this video, definitely be sure to leave a like. Definitely be sure to comment to me any questions, feedback, concerns. Would love to get any and all those questions to connect with you guys. So leave all that in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification as well, man, as I'm always uploading new content to help you guys in your journey through pornography and sex addiction, to really help you guys see freedom and victory out of it. So definitely be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of that new content. Definitely be sure to check out some of my other content, and definitely be sure to check out some of the other videos in this series. This is going to be part 1 of 5, and in these next couple parts, I'm going to get into different scenarios that begin to really weaken us mentally, that bring heightened levels of warfare and temptation, and also how to begin to rewire your brain to undo the damage that you've caused it. I'm going to get into all that in these next parts. I'll leave a link in the description so you can check out these videos. And I want to thank you guys for tuning into this video, and just for all the support that's come with this channel, man. I'm praying for you guys all the time. I'm praying for you guys' freedom. I'm praying for you guys' victory in this fight. I know how hard it is, and I'm just here to be of service in any way I can and to help you in any way I can. So definitely appreciate you guys, man, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.